Yo, welcome to Fly with Loren, part of Art Fly Learn. So thank you to everybody already who has watched my introducing Loren on YouTube. I really appreciate that. And this time I've had quite a few questions just saying like, why do you do this? How did you get into this? So I just thought I'd share my journey. So why I started tarot and generally the spiritual side at all is I kind of fell into it. So I think generally when you choose to do something like this, it's not actually really a choice, it's kind of a movement, and life takes you down that path and you just don't resist it. So why I started this is really when my grandpa died. So he passed away and I was very, very close to my grandpa. He was such an entrepreneur. He was a massive inspiration in business, especially to me. So I really looked up to him. If ever I had a problem, I would generally call him and he'd be my main point of contact, just because he was very unbiased, and I liked that he had a very level head and he didn't speak to me from his heart. He spoke to me, although he did, it was very much a balance. So when he passed, obviously that had left quite a void in terms of who I would speak to for this type of advice. And anyway, I kept on seeing, loads of things happen in life and loads of tough things around relationships and the whole situ that I kind of found myself in, but I kept on seeing double numbers. And for many of you, you'll be like, what even is that? So like when I could pick up my phone and it would be 0909, the first one I ever got was 1111. And generally that is like the most significant one because that's about you awakening. So it's about you awakening to the fact that there's something bigger, the fact that there's some form of universal code or language, which again got me interested in numerology to work out, well, why am I seeing this? And I couldn't escape it. I would go to the shops and I'd buy something and it would come to 2020 and I'd be like, and I'd be double taking, I'd be going, what is this? Like, why am I seeing this everywhere I go? And obviously I started clocking onto it and then I started telling people and I say to my family, and then stop talking nonsense, Loz. And I was like, and then before you know it, they started seeing it too. So definitely that was the awakening. That was the first thing in terms of how I started getting into this. And so from there, another really significant person who helped me understand this, and again, I think when you start seeing like the 1111s and all the double numbers, you start to attract your soul tribe. So I was doing a driving job at the time for an art publisher. So I was up and down the country trying to sell different artwork. I had a really close friend, a close uni friend called Lucy. Lucy's an awesome supporter of me now, so thank you for everything. I really appreciate you. And anyway, I went to go and stay with her one night. So she'd had twins. I hadn't seen her for probably 3 or 4 years since uni, and obviously life had changed massively for her. And I was in that area and I said, look, can I come stay? So I did that, and I was hardly even in the house, and she was saying, oh my God, I've had a terrible week, I can't use my phone. She's like, look at my phone, and she showed me a cracked screen, and on the screen was 1616, and I was like, no, what? I was like, did your phone break on that, or is that the time? I was freaked because I was getting bombarded with all these signs all the time. She was like, what's the matter? And I was like, it's a double number. I said, I can't escape double numbers. I said, I'm seeing them everywhere and I don't understand it. She's like, oh my God. She's like, you need to ask your angels. And I was like, come again, what? And she's like, yeah, my numbers are 2s. Like I go into the girls' bedroom and it's 22.2 degrees. And she said, yeah, she goes, I can buy shopping and it's £22.22 or 222. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I was sent to you. Like, what am I supposed to do? Please help me. And anyway, she told me some stories that she'd had to ask her angels, and I was like, what is she going on about? Because I'm not a massively religious person, and I'm not knocking it, I just don't go to church or anything. It's not that I don't believe, but I don't really have a faith in anything massively strongly. And she was like, you're at a crossroads, what's up? What do you need to ask? And I was like, how do you know? And at the time I was a teacher, I was doing my art publishing, and I wasn't sure whether I should take on the Cheshire Art Hub. So I was in a very, very mixed space, not knowing what to choose or what to lose, because I couldn't keep everything up in the air. It was too much to juggle. So basically, she smashed YouTube. We had YouTube on all morning. Angel numbers. What happens when you see 1111? What happens when you see 222? All of these different things. And I was like, mind blown. And anyway, she goes, right, so this is what you do. So here was me in the room going, right. And I'll talk you through it because it sounds bizarre, but you can ask. If you have got something in your life where you're at a massive crossroads, you don't know where you're at, maybe this is to do with your career, your life path, your relationship, bad health, anything like that. If you need something, it sounds bizarre, but your angels are here to guide you. They want to be asked for their help. And so in Lucy's room, I sat there and I was like, right, okay, dear angels, thinking I was a little bit mad, going, dear angels, if I'm supposed to continue doing my publishing job, I would like to see, and then the first thing that came into my head, don't ask me why, I would like to see mushrooms, please. And I said, I don't just want to see one mushroom, I said I want to see hundreds of mushrooms, or I want to see a giant mushroom. And I said, if I'm supposed to be an artist and a teacher and have like my own school, I would like to see oranges. Again, no idea why. Oranges was the very first thing that came into my head. And I said, again, I want it to be hundreds of oranges or a giant orange. I said, either way, whatever I see, I said, I want it to be a heart-stopping moment, so I know without doubt that this is a message from my angels. And I said, and I want to see it within the next 24 hours. So I was extremely specific about what I wanted to see. And then I was just like, well, thank you very much. And that was it, closed off. So that's all I said. I spoke it out loud, and here was me going, yeah, right, I'm not going to see this. And anyway, we spent the rest of the day, because this was the morning that I was going to leave. So obviously the whole night of the night before, we were smashing YouTube. She was telling me about it. And that day I'd asked, and I said I want to see it within 24 hours. So I started driving home, and I was driving through the Birmingham bit, which, you know, where it's got all the big billboards. And anyway, I saw this one on my right-hand side, and it said, can you turn your passion into a career? And then bold red writing at the bottom saying, yes, of course you can. I don't even know how, but I seemed to be the only car on the motorway at that specific time. And it was, I'll tell you the time in a second, but it was a rush hour type time. And anyway, a van was pulling in off the slip road. So it was joining my motorway. What was on it? It was absolutely covered in oranges. Hundreds of oranges and a massive orange on the back door. Well, my heart freaking stopped. I thought I died. Then I looked at the clock in my car, 17:17, and honestly, I thought I'd been cracked open. I was like, what the actual hell? I instantly broke down into tears, panicked. I rang my family and I was like, oh, you'll never guess what's just happened. I just asked my angels and I've just seen this. And they're like, whoa, Loz, what the hell are you going on about? Are you okay? Have you gone mad? And I was like, oh my God. And I've never felt anything quite like that. So I got given those 3 huge signs, which I did ask for a heart-stopping moment, but I actually thought my heart had stopped. And the next day, anyway, I went into work and I handed my notice in. I said, look, I'm really sorry, I love your job, but I can't do it anymore. And then straight after that, off the back of that, I'd already seen this place and I committed to it. And I was like, this is exactly what I'm supposed to do. So I had that much faith in these messages of what my angels were trying to tell me to do, to have faith in them, to have faith in me. So I suppose why I'm sharing this story is because if anybody else is having hardships or anybody else is in a place of sheer desperation, of sheer space where they don't know who to turn to or what to turn to, ask your angels, and it's as simple as saying what I said. Just please, if I'm supposed to do this, I want to see this, and if I'm supposed to do that, or if I'm supposed to, you know, whatever your options are, I want to see that, and I want to see it within 24 hours and thank them. And then you wait, and you don't even need to look, because these signs cannot miss you. They are going to smack you bang in the face and literally stop your heart. So I've told this to quite a few people so far, and it's really strange actually how I've ended up going about telling these stories, because again, you meet me for a reason and I meet someone else for a reason, and this conversation comes up in the most randomest of ways. Anyway, I've done it really twice on a significant timing, on a significant occasion, and I've shared this story, and ironically both of those people have been at a crossroads thinking, right, do I do this or do I do this, like not knowing what to do. Both having, ironically, already been seeing 1111 on the clock all the time and not knowing what the meaning of those double numbers were. So anyway, I've had text like 48 hours later going, holy crap, Lars, like I can't believe I have just seen that, heart, like again, got a heart-stopping moment, complete bewilderness, and going, what the actual, like how did that work and what just happened to me? So don't ask me how it happened, but that is where my journey started. And then in terms of how I got into my tarot, so that just allowed me to know that, well, more so, that just allowed me to know that when I saw double numbers, I was aligned. Like I knew that I was going down the right path. I knew that spirit was going, yes, this is it, keep going, keep going, keep going. You're listening, well done. And that was how I kind of worked my way to where I'm getting to. In terms of how I got into tarot, I ended up going to a psychic, like a psychic day, like they put them on in certain places. This one was on in Nantwich. And I had a reading. It sounds awful now, I can't remember the gent's name, but he's absolutely lovely. And he told me in my cards, he goes, you're extremely spiritual. He said, you should be doing this. And I was like, no. I was like, don't be daft. I said, I have not got the first clue about tarot, not a realm that I'm really, I said, I'm an artist. Like, I don't need to, like, I wouldn't even know how to do that. And he said, no, seriously. He's like, and then he shouted the person, it's this deck. So he shouted Simon Goodfellow and he said, Simon, sell Loren a deck of cards. So I did, my very first deck ever. And I call it my Old Faithfuls, because basically I took them home and I could read tarot, and I don't know how, I'd never done it. I hadn't even spent probably an hour with my cards and I knew what they were telling me, because he was right. I was supposed to do this. I was supposed to read tarot. And yeah, I was a very intuitive reader, and as an artist, essentially they're pictures. And I laugh because I'm actually really good at catchphrase. And I was like, well, that's why, because I can read pictures in a very intuitive, outside of the box type way. And I was like, well, this makes sense. And then ever since then, I suppose I've gone through things after, like one after another of like really hard lessons and karma and craziness really, and I've got tougher and I've got tougher and tougher. And I think generally if you do get hard lessons and then that is your test. It's like your test of your grit, it's a test of your strength, because when you do something like this, you can't have had a limited sort of life experience. You've got to have come from every single type of emotional, basically I've been like an egg where I've been so cracked open, I suppose, and hurt, and this is in every single part of my life, be it with people that I've worked with, be it with my heart space in relationships and things. It's like all these times where things could have happened, they've happened. And like I said on my last tutorial, I'm so grateful for those moments, because I'm now able to use my wisdom to be able to channel those through. So that's really what I wanted to do. I wanted to share with you today why I do what I do, why I'm so passionate about what I do, and it's because it's magic. There's nothing short of a miracle of what lies within these cards. Like I said, my own decks, I'm so connected to, and it's because I have complete faith. I completely trust whatever it is that is the bigger thing out here. I don't doubt it. I've completely surrendered all things, so that I was like, well, this is what, you know, whatever's for me will not miss me. It will not go past me. So I know already that that is the 10 of spades. That's how much faith I have in that. And I know that the next card out is going to be the Ace of Clubs, because that's how much I know my cards, and that's how much I trust from Spirit. It's 2 cards, because these are my cards, because this is what it's telling me to do. It's an Ace of Spades or it's an Ace of Clubs, and look how high up that is. Ace of Clubs. So I don't know how, I don't know why, but I trust, and anything that happens in my life, I surrender to the ebb and the flow of why it's happening, and I don't question it, I go with it. So I hope that helps you if you're in a difficult situation, or if you need to ask any questions to your angels. Just know that you are not alone. You have got the whole system, the whole world trying to guide you to be who you're supposed to be. So if you're being cracked open, know that you are going to rise. You are going to go through those struggles to be who you are supposed to be. You're supposed to be stronger for a certain reason, which you might not know of yet, because it's not how you've predicted things, but just trust that everything is as it's supposed to be. And I really hope that helps you today. And thank you so much for flying with Loren, and I hope you'll come and fly with me soon. For now, take care and peace out.